first Patron Access Services meeting today. And just a reminder that this is being recorded, so we will have this recording up later. And if you have not already, I know most people have, just make sure that you sign in with your name and your library into the chat. And just a quick question, just to make sure everyone's seeing my screen. Are you also seeing all of the people who are here at the meeting in it, or is it just my PowerPoint?
Just your PowerPoint.
Good, that's exactly what I want. Okay. All right. Okay, so then I'm going to call the meeting to order. Our first thing on the agenda is we just need to approve the minutes from our last meeting. So I did send an updated version from some of the feedback we got from when I initially sent the minutes. Are there any other corrections or additions that need to be made to them? Okay. Oop. Oh, I'm seeing something in the chat that says you can't hear me. Can people hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
All right. Okay. I'm sorry, Liz. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on then. Okay. So then I don't hear any other. Okay, good. I don't hear any other additions. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to approve the minutes. Those are going to get posted to the CCS website. And then the other question is just, are there any other additions to the agenda for today? Okay, then we're going to get started. So the first thing I had on there, I just wanted to do a welcome and introduction of our new officers. So my name is Meg Golembeski. I am going to be the chair for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. And my chair-elect is Jason Katz. I'm going to mess up your name, Jason Katzian.
Yep, that's exactly right, Meg.
Yay, okay. And our secretary is going to be Henry Sadowski. So I just wanted to give everyone a little bit of just knowing who we are. And if you have any questions about this group or ideas for this group, we're the people to reach out to. And with that, we'll move on to our staff reports. Deb, do you want to take it away?
Sure thing. I have just a few items to go over with the group. First, you may have seen my system status email go out late yesterday afternoon. We are currently experiencing some delays with Polaris emails being delivered to both patrons and to staff. There was an earlier issue in the week with Innovative's hosted customer email environment. So this caused emails to be queued up for delivery, but not actually sent out. So that issue has been fixed, but Innovative needs to send out that backlog of emails in smaller batches in order to avoid having their email server be flagged as spam. So in our testing, we've seen delays of 2 hours up to 12 hours. So I'm waiting for an update from Innovative's Cloud Ops team today on when we can expect this all to be resolved and that backlog of emails to be finished being sent out. So again, this is impacting both patron notice emails as well as any reports that you might have scheduled to be emailed to you from Simply Reports. So watch system status for more updates. We're expecting an update on this later this afternoon. So again, we'll communicate any changes or updates with system status. So thank you for your patience while we and Innovative work on this. The next thing I just wanted to share with the group, you may have seen this info shared in CCS News last month, but to ensure a positive experience for all members on our listservs, CCS has written up some guidelines for listserv participation. So those guidelines are available on the CCS website and linked on the listserv portal. So I'm going to pop the link into the chat shortly in case you want to take a look at those. Essentially, we're just saying that by joining and participating on a CCS listserv, we're all agreeing that we'll follow the rules and guidelines and be respectful and professional, things which all of us already are. The next, I just wanted to share sort of a hot off the press update to item stack codes. So database management met earlier this week, and they recommended a new item stack code for library of things. So if your library uses item stack codes for reporting purposes, this new library of things code is available for you to use immediately, and we'll share that update in CCS News tomorrow. One more item on my list. Last month, we successfully upgraded to Polaris 7.2. Now, there weren't too many updates in 7.2 for this group. A lot of the new features added to that software upgrade centered around technical services functionality, moving over to Leap. However, I know we talked about outreach at the last meeting. There was a bug fix for those of you who use the outreach module in Leap. A bug had been preventing staff from viewing or modifying the checkboxes in their preferences in Leap, but this has now been fixed with 7.2. So again, if you use the outreach module in Leap, you should now have access to those patron preference checkboxes. And that wraps up my update. Does anyone have any questions on any of those? I'm going to pop the listserv guidelines into the chat in case you want to take a peek at those after the meeting. All right, well, if there's no questions, I'll pass it back to you, Meg.
All right, thanks, Deborah. Okay, so then the next item on our agenda is just an update from last time under old business. In our last meeting in June, we talked a little bit about First Amendment audits. So just for those who might not have been at that meeting, I just included a brief definition of them here. So First Amendment audits are a social movement that usually involves photographing or filming from a public space. It is often categorized by its practitioners, known as auditors, as activism and citizen journalism that tests constitutional rights, the right to photograph and video record in a public space. Auditors believe that the movement promotes transparency and open government. So that's just the brief Wikipedia definition of it. And we know that some libraries have experienced that. So last time we talked, there was some concern over how this might affect libraries and if anybody needed to update their policies for their library regarding photographing and video recording within the library, especially with regards to does that need to be updated for children. So just a brief update, we did have a member share their library's updated photography and video policy, and I also sent that out with the agenda and the minutes. So just wanted to give us a moment for any brief discussion about that, or if anyone has any other questions or updates about that to share with the group. So I will open up the floor for discussion about that.
I'll just speak up. This is Pam at McHenry Library. As part of this updated policy, we did part of our in-service, had that devoted to the topic. Our director did a great job of providing some video samples of what to do and what not to do that were really effective. And it was nice to be together as a group to be able to discuss and have staff ask questions and just be even more prepared. Our previous policy really just addressed photographing and using photos for library related programs. So this policy is great. It really spells things out, and having a chance to discuss it was really helpful.
All right, thanks, Pam. Does anybody else have anything they want to share about it, or any questions for Pam regarding when McHenry updated their policy, or anything else that they've thought of since we last met?
This is David from Displays. I just wanted to follow up what I mentioned last month. And that was that we'd been doing some training for our staff on it up until that point. And literally a couple days after our last PAS meeting, we had our first Amendment auditor show up at the library. And it went pretty seamlessly. And I think that people being prepared for it really helped. So the person came, they videoed, they left, it was no big deal. And so I just wanted to let people know that happened and it was fine.
That's great to hear that it went smoothly and that the training that you did helped prepare for that. Okay, anyone else? All right, then moving on. And okay, so then our next order of business is to talk about the diversity audit tool. We did have a suggestion from Parkridge that we discuss this tool today. And so very graciously, Rachel Fisher from CCS is going to talk to us about it today. So Rachel, thank you for being here. And I can't wait to hear what you have to share about this.
Thank you, Meg. I'd like to share my screen.
Sure.
Can you stop sharing
Yes.
yours?
Okay.
So today I am going to do a brief review of the new diversity audit tool and allow you time to ask questions. There are two ways to access the tool. One is from the member tools A to Z page. The link to the diversity audit tool is at the top. The other way is to access the tool from web reports. The link is towards the middle, just above the collection management section. You will then use your L2 account to log in. One moment, I need to switch screens. Okay, you should now be seeing the web browser. You will find the Member Tools A to Z page on the Member Tools drop-down menu. And you'll see the Diversity Audit tool at the top. You'll then need to log in with your L2 account. It may take some time to load. It was a bit slow yesterday, so I think it might be a bit slow today. One moment. There we go. So at the top of the screen, you will see there's this help bar, which is very useful. It has a link to email the help desk and a link to the documentation on the CCS webpage. And Bob has added in very helpful text that when you hover over a button, it will describe what you see and what the button does. So at the top of the page, you see the filters. These filters are for both the bibliographic record data and item record data. It's fairly easy to use the filters. You just open it up and uncheck or check the boxes and then press apply. The one for the year or the first available date is a slider bar so that you can select a range of dates to audit. This diversity audit tool table that you see at the top allows you to analyze the percentage of the collection that is diverse according to broad categories. Anything that falls under no representation means that there are no subject headings in the record that meet the characteristics required to be categorized as BIPOC, disabilities, or neurodiversity LGBTQIA+, or religious minorities. This table includes statistics for the percentage of the collection according to bibliographic records and item records, as well as the circulation statistics. Below that are two useful graphs. This very colorful graph is the percentage of bibliographic records that fit within the diverse categories, and it displays all of the libraries, so you can easily compare your library to a similar library. And below that is another blue bar graph. This one is also the percentage of bibliographic records, and this will always match the statistics of the bibliographic records in the summary table. If you click on this button below the table that says drill down into subject matter categories, this will take you to the tables that list all of the subcategories, and in the case of the BIPOC category, it has subcategories. So these include ethnicities and nationalities, and you can easily navigate to each of the categories by clicking on the blue buttons at the top. And then to get back to that landing page, you can click on the button labeled Go Back to Diversity Audit Tool. If you would like to set up a subscription so that a report is emailed to you, you need to set up a view by saving the custom view. So I've got a couple of views here set up. Once you save the view, you will see them under My Views. And you can always switch views by, oh, that went to the wrong page. When I clicked on it, that was set up for the other page. One moment. That is also going to the other page. Sorry about that. That went to the wrong page. So if you set it up for this view, you will see that this view will appear when you click on it. So I'll just save a new view. And it will appear here at the bottom of the screen. And you can set up your subscription by pressing this watch button. The drop-down menu should say this view to subscribe to the current view you're on. And you can choose to have the report sent to you as a PDF, an image, or an image in PDF. You can edit the subject and the message, and then schedule the report to be emailed to you daily, weekly, or monthly at your specified date and time, and then press subscribe. There is an additional dashboard that you can access via the collection development button. This will allow you to identify titles that your library does not own. If you set up the filters on the diversity audit dashboard page, you do need to set up the filters again on the collection development page. So it looks like collection did carry over, but the publication year is set for a default of 2022. So if you do want to also include 2021 or 2020, you can select that and press apply. Instead of an assigned branch, this page has an owning library highlighter. So when you select the owning library highlighter, it marks the titles that your library owns. with the name or an asterisk. The asterisk displays if more than one library owns it. It also highlights the title in yellow. The yellow does not appear in the Excel file when you download it. You can easily review it on this page, or if you'd like to sort it better, you can download the file by clicking on this download button and pressing crosstab. To download the report, click on the square that says download and then press download. So within this report, you can easily highlight duplicates or sort by the numerical order in order to help you identify titles to purchase that your library doesn't own yet. So I'm going to now switch back to the presentation. For any additional training, you can access the web pages via the how-to page. For reports, the slide has a recommended order for reading the documentation. I've also added a new FAQ page. If you can think of any questions to add to the FAQ page, please let me know. The webinar recording from August 4th is also accessible via YouTube. Feel free to contact me via the help desk if you would like to schedule one-on-one training sessions for you or your library staff, or have any questions or comments. I'm working with Bob on another round of developments to upgrade the dashboard with new features by the end of December. This will include new categories, including women, poverty, and immigration. We will be adding additional circulation statistics. The first step will be to make sure that the circulation columns are the same in all the tables. And I will also be sending out a survey soon to gauge your interest in adding additional circulation statistics. This can include age of collection and the percentage that the collection circulates at specific time periods. A column will be added to the titles selected for analysis table that labels if an item is new or not new based on the item material type. And in addition to assessing the importance of circulation statistics, I will also be sending out 2 other surveys. One is a brief survey on how you identify middle grade items in your item records, and the other is a survey on the design of the tool. One of the agenda items we received for the meeting was a question of how library staff could work to improve subject headings of diverse titles so that relevant titles are picked up by the diversity audit tool. Because subject headings represent the plot of a title, subject headings representative of complex identities may be left out of bibliographic records. So this happens because those identities are not always described in the summary of the book or movie, and sometimes the summary is even left out of the bibliographic record. So this is an image of the record for a biography on Alice Walker. It's a great example of a record that is missing subject headings for some of the biography's identities. So it has the headings for her ethnicity. However, it is missing the headings that describe her as a bisexual woman. This book is categorized as fitting in the LGBTQ+ category in the diversity audit tool because it has Glencoe's local heading for their LGBTQ+ collection. However, it will need additional headings to be included in the bisexual category and in the future women's category. So auditing records for these details can be very time consuming and is not something that library staff are required to ever do. However, if you have any downtime, feel free to review the records for your recent acquisitions that you selected. You can contact the cataloging department to request that they add additional subject headings to better reflect the identity that it was selected for. When you send your email to the cataloger asking them to add in more subject headings, be sure to include the bibliographic records control number. You can explain to the cataloger that the record is missing subject headings for the specific identities that it was selected for. Providing the list of identities that are missing will be helpful. In the case of Alice Walker's record, it was missing headings that reflect her identities, and it's an African-American woman and a bisexual woman. I will also take some time to inform the catalogers at the next CAM meetings that they may be seeing some emails from the Public Services Department asking them to add missing subject headings to records. Your assistance with identifying these records that need to be enhanced will be greatly appreciated. Are there any questions?
Okay, I'm not seeing anything in the chat and I didn't hear anything, but again, if you do think of something later or have questions later, obviously feel free to reach out. Thank you, Rachel. That was really helpful and really interesting and a great reminder of how public access desks and catalogers work together to make the best experience for our patrons and to help people find what they need. So thank you so much. All right, everyone can see my screen again? All right. So then, if there's nothing else, we can actually end our meeting a little bit early today. So this is the one, oh, did you say something, Deborah? Or, okay. All right, so this is the one thing that I actually will call for a motion for. So call for a motion to adjourn.
John Amundson moves.
Thank you. And can you say your library's name?
Yeah, John Amundson, Wilmette Public Library.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Pam Strain McHenry, a second.
All right, since we have a motion and it's seconded, we can adjourn. Our next meeting will be on December 15th. Same place on Zoom. I will send out that link when we get closer. Thank you all for coming today and sharing your knowledge. I've always loved this group, so it's been great meeting with you. Looking forward to working with you all this year. Have a great day, everyone.